It's a Tuesday. It can only mean one thing. Yes, we have a Springbok team for the game weekend. And doesn't it give us something to talk about in these days building up to a game? Thank you, Rassie Erasmus, once again. And Rassie has given us lots to talk about with that Springbok team, not least Manie Libbok in the number 10 jersey, the man who came under so much criticism from people online, from fans, from some pundits. He's there wearing the 10 jersey for the Boks, one of 9 changes to the starting 15. 6 double World Cup winners are recalled into the 15 as well. Serious experience. The big guns are back for the final round of the Rugby Championship to try and claim officially that Rugby Championship title and their first one since 2019. There is a lot to talk about on this one, which is exactly what I'm going to get into. And I invite you to comment down below, as well as giving the video a thumbs up and hitting subscribe. I am Tim and this is Egg Chasers, and thank you very much for watching. And if you're in South Africa, happy Heritage Day. Or what is it? Am I right? It's called like Braai Day, basically, locally. And whatever community you're from, everyone will kind of braai together, whether that's, you know, firing up the wood on the fire to cook up a lovely T-bone steak. My mouth is literally salivating as I even talk about it, because I'm just thinking back to some of the most amazing steaks that I had cooked over wood when I was in South Africa. Oh my goodness, some of the best meat you're going to get, and that's amazing, isn't it? So there's going to be more meat cooked over a fire today than normal, and that is saying something. But then there'll be people having a shisha nyama. Some communities will be getting stuck into a bit of that, which, am I right? Shish meat and yama is fire, so meat over fire. And roti cooked over a fire as well. I would be going for, if I was there, and again my mouth is salivating as I even say this, a bit of bean shakalaka on the side. That was a game changer when I was there. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about all the amazing food that I ate when I was in South Africa recently, or that people will be eating today. I'm here to chew over, pun intended, or apologies for the pun, this team, this 23-man squad. Manie Libbok starts. What's going on here? Is this Rassie Erasmus doing Rassie Erasmus things? Because there's a bunch of things that you think about when you think about Rassie Erasmus. You think about his out-the-box thinking, his innovation. You think about his honesty, sometimes brutal honesty at times. And you think about the way that he backs his players. He will defy critics in order to pump up the tyres of his players. And you can see and you can tell they absolutely love him for it. Is that what is going on here with Manie Libbok? Has he seen all the criticism that he's come under in the last 48 or so hours and thought, I'll show them, I'm going to back him? I actually don't think that is what's going on, although I wouldn't put it past Rassie to have that in his mindset. I think with Sasha Feinberg and Gomazulu out injured at the moment and 2 fly halves in the squad, he's thinking both of them are going to be involved, so I'm going to start Manie Libbok. And maybe that's an acknowledgement from Rassie Erasmus that actually it was his selection of Manie Libbok off the bench, when you know he's not got a great kicking percentage, especially when it comes to clutch kicks in big games. We've got enough game tape on that in the past. Maybe Rassie Erasmus is acknowledging, do you know what? That was on me. I shouldn't have put him in that situation. And now, with roles reversed, with Andre Pollard on the bench, now, just as happened in the World Cup semi-final, if Rassie Erasmus wants to take Manie Libbok off after half an hour, he can do so. Equally, if it's tight and he wants someone on that can nail a clutch kick in the last 20 minutes, he's got a guy on the bench who is about as good as anyone ever has been at that role in World Rugby in Andre Pollard. So I think that's what's going on. Tell me if you disagree. What he has said, Rassie Erasmus said, I made a note of what his quote was. He said about Manie Libbok, he dictates play so well, so we back Manie to fully do the job for us at fly half. And he's absolutely right. In terms of just general fly half play, kicking aside, he's absolutely brilliant. He also pointed out, Rassie Erasmus said that it's not just for Manie to come up with a solution for his goal kicking, it's for the team to come up with solutions overall. And my reading of that is that this means they're going for the jugular and they'll be going to their maul game. And we're going to see a lot more. If you get a penalty 30 metres out, go for the corner and go for 7 points rather than 3 points. That would be my best guess. On that, and in terms of solving issues, line out was an issue last weekend, has been an issue lately. Bongi Mbonambi is back at hooker. Malcolm Marx, by his very, very high standards, wasn't at his best. Mind you, Bongi Mbonambi hasn't looked at his best in recent games, has he? So big game, and I'm sure there'll be a big performance from the pair of them, Bongi and Mbonambi, to start on this one. And as I mentioned, big guns return, 6 double World Cup winners into the starting 15, 9 changes in the 15 overall. And in the matchday 23, there are 19 World Cup winners. This is experience, this is talent, and this is on home soil as well, with a trophy waiting on the other side of a victory. So in the pack, Bongi and Mbonambi, Franz Malherbe, Siya Kolisi, Pieter-Steph du Toit, and Eben Etzebeth into the starting lineup. And Eben Etzebeth to become the most capped Bok of all time. I should have probably mentioned that sooner, because that is no small feat, and he's got many years ahead. I'm sure he might well have the all-time international rugby cap record in his sights. You could see him getting there by the next World Cup. In the back line, Damien Diolende is in at 12, Cheslin Colby on the wing, and like the hookers, the scrum half switch around. Oh, no, because it was Jan-Hendrik Wessels on the bench last week, wasn't it? So the scrum half switch around, Reinach onto the bench, and Hendrikse is starting. That's another question mark, isn't it? The scrum half position for South Africa. They've got a lot of good scrum halves, but no standout scrum half. No scrum half where you go, they're clearly the number one choice. Who is going to emerge in that role as the out-and-out number one, in the way that Faf de Klerk was in 2019? Feels like they need someone to grab it by the reins. And do you read the fact that there isn't an out-and-out first choice as all of the scrum halves are really, really good? Or is it they're all very good, but no one is exceptional? I'm kind of, at the moment, thinking more along that lines. There needs to emerge a true kind of potential world-class talent in that scrum half position. Who and which one of the many options do you think it might be? I guess one other question, I've already touched on it there when I said that Rassie has pointed out that it's for the team to work out the solutions. Are they going to shift their style of play? It's a meaty old pack, isn't it? Are they going to shift the balance towards the tighter game, the tougher game, scrummage Argentina a little bit more, maul them a little bit more, and just punch holes in them a little bit more to soften them up? I think possibly because it will have hurt them losing that game, that might be a little bit more. They might turn the dial up on that a little bit, go back just a little bit towards traditional Bok rugby. And I think if they do that, I think they'll get a lot of change out of it. Equally, I could quite see them persisting with the style that they have been going for. It's a 5-3 split on the bench, which is quite interesting. So Pieter-Steph du Toit is covering the lock position. Ulrich Lowe and Quagga Smith can be the destroyers of worlds. They're on the bench. Reinach, Pollard, Am are there as well. And what do you read into the guys that are not involved, that were involved last week? Thomas du Toit and Jan-Hendrik Wessels in the front row. Salman Murat in the second row. Marco van Staden, Ben Jason Dixon in the back row. Makalazoli Mapimpi in the back line. I don't think anyone's played themselves out of a spot. I think that is just a pecking order of where they currently are. The one player I thought there, Thomas du Toit, I thought could potentially play himself into a spot, and I still think that is a possibility by the next Rugby World Cup, but no one took their chance enough to oust one of the players that were already there. So there we go. Thank you again, Rassie Erasmus, for giving us something to talk about on a Tuesday. I guess we've got to wait 48 hours for Felipe Contepomi to name his team, which I don't expect to be too different from the Argentina side that played at the weekend, which is in contrast to South Africa, who've been able to keep a load of players back on South African soil, in the South African time zone, without any travel in their legs whatsoever, ready and raring to go and hoping to bring home the Rugby Championship, which I'm fairly confident they will do on home soil. I did say that last week, mind you, isn't it? And never ever rule this Los Pumas team out, because they are class. And we'll wait for their team, and then there'll be more reaction. Enjoy your Friday. Thank you for watching. Hit subscribe, like, leave a comment. I'll see you on the next one.